Welcome back to another episode of the Sweet Shots podcast. Lucas Johnson alongside Mark Johnson today. Chuck's MIA, but that's just all right. We've got a great show lined up for you today. A couple guests on our way. Our first on the line, get right into it. We've got Hank Eggebraaten. You told me how to say it right before. I hope I didn't butcher that, Hank, but thanks for being on. And just so we get it right, you're tournament coordinator down for the Sanford International. Is that correct?
That is correct, yeah. Started in February, so just got my first tournament under my belt here, so it was awesome.
All right.
So you were brought on, and this is Mark. Hank, you were brought on in February. That's correct. And is this a year-round position, I assume?
Yes, it is, yeah. So it started in February, and then we're able to go around and help out with our other tournaments, other events that our company has. So it's a good position. It's been a great year so far.
And the company that you work for, they specialize in coordinating golf events. Can you tell us, that's ProLink Sports, correct?
Correct, yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about what is their scope? How many events do they oversee? And what's their scope?
So we've got a couple events on the PGA Tour and a couple on the PGA Tour Champions as well. We have the 3M Open, which is in Minnesota, Wells Fargo, TimberTech, Valspar, Sanford International, and then we were able just to get the Simmons Bank Championship as well.
That's fantastic. So with that, what percent of your focus is dedicated to this event in Sioux Falls? This is for our listeners that have not gone down to watch this Champions Tour event. It is first class. I've been to PGA Tour events, of course, been to majors. The way you set that up for the fan experience and everything that's involved there, we were fortunate enough, Chuck and I played in the Pro-Am. It's top notch. Can you give us a little glimpse of, how much are you focused just on Sioux Falls, and then how much will you devote to the other events ProLinks is running?
Sioux Falls is obviously my main focus, but if a tournament needs help and support staff, we're able to go travel for a couple weeks or a couple days, whatever it may be. But yeah, it's nice having a good supportive community in our company and going to help out, but Sioux Falls is my main focus.
Yeah. Lucas, you haven't been down there. You've played that golf course, of course, right?
I've played the golf course, and I was kind of joking, Hank, that the reason that we wanted to have you on today was because after Chuck and Mark got the opportunity to play, they had some choice words for the setup after the first couple holes, and so we wanted to clear the air. I heard your putting experience wasn't exactly...
No. I thought the whole location on 2 was about 3 feet too deep because I was right at it, 3 feet short. But I had a good day that day.
For next year. I'll tell Swifty, our superintendent out there.
Yeah, just move it 3 yards closer to the tee box. I made 4 birdies on my own ball. The golf course was impeccable. We played with Tom Pernice, Hank, and he said the conditions were as good as he's seen all year. Can you speak to the effort that grounds crew did at played at Minnehaha Country Club in Sioux Falls? Can you speak to that? Yeah.
Yeah, David Swift and his team put in a great effort this year, like they always do. And the golf course turned out perfect. Couldn't have asked for any better weather too during the week, which is amazing.
What yardage do you have the Champions Tour guys play from?
It's right just shy of 7,000.
And that golf course seems to play longer than that because I use the word handcuffs you off the tee a few times because of the creek. So yeah, if it says 7,000, there's a couple par 4s just because you can't get too aggressive off the tee that you end up with a little longer iron or even hybrid or fairway wood, depending upon, right?
I would say it's going to be the longest short course you'll ever play because one, unless you're trying to go for the green there, you can't hit driver. 2 is par 3. You really can't hit driver until 4 out there.
Right. What kind of feedback do you get from the players? It seems like your field is exceptional. What kind of feedback do you get from them?
They absolutely love it. They love coming to Sioux Falls. Our crowd is fantastic. We get so much support from the community. They come out and watch, cheer on. And we've had the top 5 field last couple of years, so that's been great too. So just Sioux Falls just kind of wraps around the event, and it's great to have them here.
One player of note, there's a number of players that played in your field that were exceptional players, but John Daly had a pretty good week.
John did play well. It was great to see him out there. We had one of our local guys. He was actually in the bag for him, so that was pretty cool to see Ben out there caddying for him.
Oh, that is super cool. When you're setting up a tournament, is there like, does the tour give you specs that you have to meet as far as the tournament standards go, or is it just kind of like
guidelines? But
yeah,
with this being our 6th year we had, we've been able to continue a great relationship with them and make the tournament grow.
Sure, yeah, it was awesome in there.
How special would it have been? And another guy that played really well, Bernhard Longer, was really in the mix. For him, It would have been the world or the record, or no, he would have broke the record, right? He's tied with Hale Irwin right now.
Record breaking. Yep.
Was that something you guys were aware of, and were you doing whole locations to favor the German?
It's hard not to follow a career like that. Steve's also a great champion, and it was awesome to see him go back to back. But yeah, it was just a great year overall. Stricker's been on just having 6 wins already this year, which is insane. And then, Bernhard played great as well. So it was awesome to see them both out there in the mix.
So as a tournament as coordinator, right? How involved are you the week of, or is it just a lot of lead up work, and then the week of you finally just get to sit back and go, all right, I can watch it unfold? Or are you like hands on that week as well?
It's all the time. Build up is obviously more in the advanced week. Got to get everything ready, prep as much as you can. But when the tournament comes around, you just got to be ready for whatever may come up.
I was really impressed. The format that you have down there, you have 2 days of Pro-Am where you have a morning wave, afternoon wave each day, and how well orchestrated it was. Can you speak to the volunteers that you have to pull that off? What kind of numbers do you need from that segment of folks helping you, just from volunteers?
Oh, we couldn't do it without them. They're fantastic. That's another thing where Sioux Falls just wraps around. They want to be involved with it. They love getting out up and close and personal with professionals out there. Everything they do is just, we couldn't have done the tournament without them.
Ballpark, how many volunteers does it take to pull that off that week?
I think we were right around 700 this year.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
impressive.
That's
really cool. Really impressive. That week, when do the players start? When do they have access to the golf course? Can they play on Monday right away? Or are they there before that? Or do you see a mix of when guys are coming in?
We see most of them come in. There's a couple that arrive on Monday. It all kind of depends on their schedule, where they're coming from the week before. Usually around Monday, Tuesday is when they start showing up mainly, and then a couple guys will show up on Wednesday as well. So they all kind of float in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like we were talking about. Your field is very impressive, and I'm old enough now that these guys were guys I was watching, back in the '80s, and going, okay, these guys, their names, they're every once in a while you'll get a guy that has worked their way onto this Champions Tour that you maybe haven't heard of, but by far, it's some really, really all names that you're going to recognize. And the quality of golf out there, that golf course is not easy. What did Stricker shoot? How many under was he?
He was 16 under.
Wow.
In 3 days, 16 under. I'm telling you, it's not easy.
62, 66, 66, if I'm correct.
Yeah. Well, and that's a testament to how great the golf conditions were. The greens are fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Lucas, you alluded to it. So Tom Pernice and his caddy, Sandy, Armour, started giving us, they were reading putts for us, and they knew what they were doing. They had been there a few times, and we couldn't believe how fast those greens were if you got above the hole on a few of those holes. Do you know what they were stimping at for the tournament?
I don't have that one off the top of my head, but I would have to imagine it's right around 12 or 13. They were rolling pretty quick, and especially like you were saying, when you get above the hole, they're going to be even faster.
Yeah, they were fantastic. That's just fun to putt. Even after a 3 putt, you kind of go, well, it was still fun. It was still fun. So tell us just a couple more closing questions. Does the work for the 2024 event, does that literally start the day after the 2023 event? What's taking your time now, and when do you start looking at the next year's event?
Oh, we're always looking for new ideas and seeing how we can get everything better and recapping. But at the moment, we're just trying to make sure we get everything moved off of Minnehaha, bring it back to the office, and just preparation for everything. We're always looking to recap and see how we can improve and make it a better experience for everybody.
How about the infrastructure there? I mean, the stadium seating that you created around the 18th and everything else that's going on there, does that go into storage, or does that go to the next event on tour? How does that work? Or is that proprietary to the
stuff will go into the next event, yeah.
Okay. Is that PGA Tour owned, or does Link Sports own that?
We use some different vendors that come up and set up all of our equipment for us. So yeah, that one's not on us. The tour might use the same companies as well, but yeah, kind of varies between tournament to tournament.
That makes it nice. My question for you, Hank, is as a tournament coordinator, what's if you had to highlight one thing, or what's the best part about being a tournament coordinator? What keeps you going tournament to tournament?
For me, it's, as you guys know from being in the golf business and working at tournaments, there's no better feeling than getting done with a successful event and make sure everybody's happy and just seeing things getting ran well.
Yeah, that's I'm obviously on probably the smallest scale of the three of us, but yeah, running a successful league night or something like that, a scramble, that is a good feeling. I can only imagine doing it on a national level where you've got, I don't know how many people watching, but something like that. That's gotta be awesome.
Yeah. Do you know what the ratings were for that? Do you follow that at all? Do they give you feedback on that?
I haven't got a chance to look at those yet. I'm not sure they were sent over yet, but it was great. Yeah, this tournament was broadcast on Golf Channel all 3 days, which was amazing.
That is really cool. Really cool.
Yeah, I'm telling listeners, if you haven't gone down to watch that event, and the 3M is fantastic. You go down there and the way they set that tournament up, it's a great experience. But these players, it's so I'll use the word intimate. I mean, you are on top of these guys sometimes. I go to the 10th tee. Some of these areas, you're really close. Can you speak to that? Is that a conscious effort? Champions Tour events, you get to be a little closer?
We always try our best to make sure the fans have the greatest experience out there. And the course sets up perfectly too. Like you were saying, that all of our grandstands and everything surrounding 18, you couldn't have a better finishing hole. Everything surrounds it. It just looks like a stadium down there. So it's great. We love having people close and making sure they get the best experience as well.
Yeah, it's a fantastic event, and I'd encourage everybody, put it on your calendar next year to get down there and watch that at least one day. Is it roughly going to be the same? Do you have dates for 2024 set?
Yep, they will be September 9th through the 15th.
Good.
That's a good week.
You're still getting good weather. Typically,
yeah.
When it was first announced, I don't know how many years this event's been there. It was like, mid-September, you never know. But I think that first year it did rain quite a bit. But this year was gorgeous, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Especially, you can imagine from the programs, too. Those days were fantastic out there.
Yeah, that's awesome. We kind of touched on it maybe before we went live there, but we'd be remiss not to mention, with Mark going over to Rome here, leaving tomorrow, Wednesday, Steve Stricker is going to make an appearance over there. Is that something? I mean, we've got boots on the ground for the podcast here. Is that something you can share your experience through the tournament with Steve? You corner him a little bit and
an introduction through Hank.
Yeah, maybe we talked to Hank the other day.
He said you'd come on the podcast. I'm going to record from Rome.
Yeah.
You got any ins with your champion?
I wish I could help you out there, but just a fly on the wall for all that.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. It's going to be a good week coming up for Ryder Cup. Hank, do you have any predictions for this year? Do you follow that closely at all?
I followed it, yeah. I'm excited to see the boys out there playing. It should be a great event, like it always is. And, I wish I was lucky enough to be there like you, Mark, but it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. It still hasn't hit me that you watch some coverage here early in the week on the Golf Channel. It's like, well, I'm going to be there. I can't believe it. But it's going to be a great experience. Much like your event. Just congratulations, Hank, you and your team, everything that you're doing down there. I was blown away. And I've been there as a spectator one other time, but as a player in the Pro-Am, and to kind of get that whole lead up to the event, you guys are doing it the right way, and it's really impressive. So congratulations on a great event. And we appreciate you taking some time and giving us a little inside scoop as what it takes to pull that event off. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for coming down. I look forward to seeing you next year too.
Sounds good. I hope we get the invite again. Hank, we should mention, we were so fired up. We were 17. We were 15 under. No, we were 16 under on our last hole on 18. And my brother's got a putt for a net eagle. I drove one down there pretty close, and he flips a little wedge in there. He's got about 5 feet. And our caddy, I said to the caddy, do we tell him? Do we tell him this is for the lead, the morning wave? And the caddy was adamant. Sandy's like, no way. Don't let him know. And yeah, he missed the hole. He didn't even hit the hole from 5 feet. And then, of course, as a good brother would do, I let him know that, hey, that was for the low round team score from the morning. And he felt pretty bad. But
that's what you got to do.
Chirp him a little bit here and there.
Oh, I had to chirp him. But then we saw the afternoon score. Did you move all the tees forward? Because the afternoon wave was way better than the morning wave.
It definitely started to heat up in the afternoon.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Some low scores there.
Well, now you know what to expect going forward next year.
Yeah.
Hopefully you get the invite back. But
yeah, we had fun, Hank. Well done. Just a great event.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Absolutely, Hank. Thanks again. Hopefully it gets you back on here moving forward, even if it's next year. Talking.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
We love talking tournament function, or the behind the scenes stuff. So we appreciate you coming on and breaking that down with us. So I think that's going to do it for our first section here. So thanks again to Hank for jumping on. Stick around. We've got another guest coming our way, a little surprise guest popping in. And then we've got our final Ryder Cup talk before we break it down. So thanks again to Hank. Stick around on the other side of the break, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. This segment, we're joined by a very special guest. We're talking Ryder Cup, and who better to have on the show than Mr. David Johnson. Now, for most people, that name might just sound like another relative of ours. It's not. There's no relation. But if we remember, we're going to rewind the clock back to 2016 at Hazeltine when the Ryder Cup was in town. And we might have seen, I don't know how you missed it, but the clip of a fan that's decides he's going to throw out a little heckle and a little challenge.
He's a heckler.
He's a heckler, throws out a challenge. David Johnson was that man. He decided he was going to step up and hit a putt, and who better to tell the story than the man himself. David, walk us through that day. This was a practice round day, and the beauty of the Ryder Cup. Walk us through that event. What happened? What was going through your mind then?
You bet. Happy to do so. And you're exactly right. So it was Thursday of the Ryder Cup when it was held at Hazeltine. And we had got there, I don't know that we had been there much more than 20, 30 minutes and found a spot at a par 3. And that foursome of Rose and Stenson and McIlroy and Sullivan had just got to the tee box. So we watched them hit into the green, and then they sat and tried this putt over and over. I bet they tried it 12, 14 times, and
okay.
I decided to let them know that it was a putt that I could make. So after doing that, I was called out by Stenson. He walked halfway from the green to where the patrons were, and asked who said that, and knowing that I'm probably about to get kicked out, I tried to ignore the fact that it was me, but the rest of the patrons made it known where that came from.
They pointed you out.
And they were quick. They were quick to point my direction. So I fessed up and said, yes, that was me. I could make that putt. And he looked back at the green, looked at me and said, all right, well, come do it.
Oh my.
Knowing full well that there wasn't a chance this putt was going in. So I took advantage of it. I walked around the green for about a minute and a half, giving those guys some grief. And then finally stepped up to hit the putt. And that's when Rose ran up with $100 and said, we will put some money on the line. Let's see if you can make it now. And knowing full well that putt didn't have a chance to go in, I sent it on its way, and the hole stopped it.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, David. We've watched the video. You hit it with authority. I mean, it was moving when it went in.
Well, it's funny because in my head, a golf course, playing a small town golf course in North Dakota and stepping on the green at Hazeltine, it's going to be the same thing, right? No, it's very different. That putt I hit at the speed I thought it was supposed to be hit at, and it was like a concrete parking lot.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, that was the speed that you needed to hit it at.
Faster than I've ever seen a putt move.
That is awesome, and that's you mentioned it. So you're calling out the best players in the world, and you've only been there 20, 30 minutes. So was there time to get enough drinks in to build up the confidence? I mean, where does that come from, or is that just Mayville confident? I know a couple people from Mayville. Is that?
Yeah, it's funny you asked that question, because I am plenty outspoken and verbal enough. I don't shy away from many conversations, but no, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, there was not much liquid courage involved in that moment.
That's equally as impressive for me. I classify myself as an extroverted introvert, so I don't know that I could get up the stones to do that. But man, that's impressive stuff right there.
I have a question, David, and it comes down to like your tone and inflection. When you happen to mention that you could make that putt, I could make that putt. Was it? What was your tone? I mean, it couldn't have been like a was it true heckler tone, or was it just matter of fact? I could make that putt. What tone, if you could explain it, motivated them to seek you out?
Well, I think I said it forcefully enough, but it wasn't aggressive. So it was loud enough that they could hear me, and they were ready to make a fool out of me for saying it.
That is, and as a true USA fan, I mean, USA Today, obviously. I mean, watching that video, I don't think there is anything more, especially in 2016. I remember watching it, and it was like, you know what, this is our year. If we've got guys from Mayville, North Dakota, stepping on that green and showing these Europeans what it's like to play golf here, I mean, there was no question in my mind we were going to win that one. So I think you really turned the tide for us. That got the crowd going. That was awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was electric. I'm not sure if you guys, or have you had the opportunity to be at a Ryder Cup in the past?
We went to that. We
actually
made the trip down that one. We were Friday, Saturday. I think we were able to get in.
Okay,
so that was awesome.
And it's for people that don't, or maybe follow regular golf rounds, or have been to a regular golf tournament. It's hard to explain the atmosphere of a Ryder Cup.
Right. Yeah.
And you're exactly right. That Hazeltine Ryder Cup was absolutely electric, and it was so unbelievable, to the point that the U.S. Ryder Cup committee has already scheduled Hazeltine back in 2029, I believe.
That's right. 2029.
Yeah,
exactly right.
Coming back.
Do you think they're going to reach out to you and probably have you ceremoniously make a couple putts for the U.S. team to kick off the week?
Well, like you said, it worked out so well to jumpstart the momentum. If you guys wouldn't mind pushing it for me, that'd be great.
Yeah, we'll put a good word in for you. I don't know how much weight that's going to carry, but we can definitely try.
David, what was the rest of that day like for you? I mean, were you able to go back into the gallery and just kind of be just a spectator again, or were you whisked away and doing interviews, and all of a sudden you found yourself in VIP tents? What was the rest of the day like for you?
Well, so that's exactly it. We were there. Well, I was supposed to be there the whole week. So we went to that practice round, and then for the rest of Thursday, I was grabbed almost immediately and spent all of Thursday in the media tent.
Wow.
I don't know if there was a TV broadcast or radio show that I missed out on the opportunity to relive. But it was crazy. It all of a sudden, before I knew it, it was 6:30 at night.
Wow.
That's crazy. So for our listeners out there, David does have a real job. He just doesn't do radio and podcasts, recounting his Ryder Cup experience. You're a State Farm insurance agent in Mayville, correct?
That is correct.
Does that allow you? I know some guys that work in insurance, and they find some time to play golf from time to time. Are you playing golf, and what's your handicap at?
Well, I am a average, mediocre golfer at best. So if I said a 14 to 16 handicap, that might be stretching it.
Wow. So, and I mean, and that's still, I mean, majority of golfers in this world don't play to that level, but to walk onto a green in that situation and to make a putt, knowing you're 14, 16, that's the odds to do that are off the charts. And you know that as well as anybody, right?
Absolutely. And I couldn't be more honest. I was, and maybe it helped me, but I was 100% aware that was not going to go in the hole.
Right.
So when the emotions that came out of me when it did, I think that expressed that.
Well,
I was that surprised.
And I was going to say, I think the favorite part of that video for me watching it is a celebration after. And it just, and that's what got me hooked.
It was legit.
It was legit, just like elation where we can rub it in the face of these Europeans. We've got an average guy that's making putts on.
It's funny you said that because I was there with my cousin and my dad and a couple buddies, and I said to them afterwards, well, first of all, I said, what happened?
Yeah, right.
Because I instantly blacked out and I woke up hugging Rory.
Yeah, oh my God.
What just took place here?
Oh, man. That would be insane.
And he's shorter than you would think, right? Rory's not a big guy. Do you remember that?
He is not. No, he's not. Well, I mean, he's got to be pushing 6 foot. You know, I'm 6'4".
Okay.
Now Stenson and Rose, they were very similar. Stenson for sure, I believe. I was almost looking at him eye to eye. So, but yeah, the majority of professional golfers are under 6 foot, I would say.
Yeah, bodes well for some of us shorter guys. I'm nowhere near 6'4", so bodes well.
Well, this has been a treat to get your take on that story.
I got one last thing, just as an end cap, and we touched on the celebration, David. But what was that roar like? Do you remember the roar? Because I mean, that's like I don't know if we can throw that up there with like a tiger roar, but God, the video made it sound like. I mean, what was that in your ears? What was that like?
Yeah, it was nuts. It was really comparable to like when you're at a tournament and somebody holes somebody out or holes a shot out somewhere 4 or 5 fairways over, and it just explodes.
Wow.
And it was just, I got to be right in the center.
And it's all for you,
crazy.
Right? I mean, that's insane. That's so cool. Yeah. It's all for you.
Yeah. Once in a lifetime.
How about we'll kind of cap it with this. We've got obviously Ryder Cups this week. We're over in Rome. Do you have any predictions for this week moving forward as far as whether it's score, outcome, pairings, whatever? Do you have any predictions that in your Ryder Cup experience yourself? You've been there. You know the roars. What's your predictions?
It's tough as anybody that follows the Ryder Cup knows. When the U.S. is on European soil, they set their courses up completely geared to the Europeans' golf game.
Absolutely.
Now, I think the captain's picks were crucial for the U.S. team, getting the experience in there because it was very young prior to those captain's picks, selections going into it. But man, from what I've seen so far, Rory is unbelievable, like emotions into this Ryder Cup. I think he was devastated in Wisconsin.
He was, right? Absolute tears.
It just so happened I was able to go to Wisconsin too to watch, and we were there Saturday, Sunday, and his emotions on that Sunday and how torn apart he was to lose that Ryder Cup in the fashion that they did. I think his passion alone is going to will the Europeans to play their very best golf. So that's kind of terrifying being a U.S. fan with the emotions he's bringing into it as their leader.
I hear you. I have similar feelings, and in fact I saw a clip today where he holed out, and the caption was hatless Rory is out for blood. You know, he's not wearing a hat over there, and it just seems like when he doesn't wear a hat, he means business. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, he is there to take care of. I mean, if he could single-handedly play the U.S. team himself, he would. He is ready to roll.
I think so.
That's a good take. I think you're spot on.
I'm hoping for a close one, David. I tell you what, it's going to be good golf to watch. I think I'm excited for it. So,
yeah, cannot wait.
Well, David, thanks for being on. And again, folks listening, if you're in Mayville, swing by his office. Do you have that $100 bill on display?
I don't have it on display. That is still very well protected. One of these days, I'll be a little bit more comfortable taking it out.
I don't blame you there either.
You didn't spend it though, right? You didn't spend it.
No, I did not get the opportunity to spend it. I had those three guys. I had Rose and Stenson and McElroy. They all signed it for me. So
wow.
I have it protected in a case.
That's smart living there.
All right. Well, we appreciate you doing this on short notice. We're going to send you a little Sweet Shots fun. You come on down here and have a little fun with friends, and we enjoy the Ryder Cup in that tie you have that event.
Well.
I tell you what, Dave, I'm going to watch that clip of you making in the celebration. I think every morning of the Ryder Cup just to get excited. I tell you what. And I think everybody should do the same, because if you don't get pumped up watching that video, I don't know what's going to get you pumped up. So
can't wait for it.
Thanks again, David, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon.
Yes, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for letting me relive it.
You got it. There's David Johnson. He's joining us from Mayville. What a story! What a clip! If you haven't seen it, we're gonna. I mean, it's gonna be on the YouTube, the video of it all, and get out and watch that, because there again, I mean, that's such a cool moment to relive. So awesome having him on the show, and hopefully, get him down here and have some fun with some friends. So on the other side of the break, we're gonna get into our last bit of Ryder Cup talk before Mark heads over to enemy soil there. So stick around and we'll break it down. Be right back. This segment brought to you by Sweet Shots Fall League. It's just about that time. Fall is just around the corner, or technically started per the calendar year, but it doesn't feel like that. But it will come. And when that time comes, just let's keep the good summer vibes going. Let's get in here, play some leagues. Grab a buddy. It's a 2-person average net score, so it's a little different there. But Sweet Shots Fall League, we're presented by Boston Beer, and we've got Mizuno's coming on here. Winners are going to take home T24 wedge, their new wedge, on top of some other great gifts from the Boston Beer Company. And then we're going to run a season-long putting contest. So you get in there, the cumulative low score for the season is going to get a Mizuno putter, a ton of great bonus opportunities on top of some season-long points race with the league 9-hole net average score, and then we've got a league-wide shootout for a ton of prizes. It's a great time, so grab your buddy, come on out. That starts October 16th. You can play Monday or Wednesday night at 6 p.m. 6 to 8 p.m. is our time, and just trying to have a lot of fun. Continue the fun from the summer. That's the goal. So get in here, have some fun. October 16th, Sweet Shots Fall League. Sign up online on our website, sweetshots.com, and let's have some fun today. Really looking forward to that. Ladies League's kicked off, so they're playing tonight, Tuesday, second week. It's going to be a beautiful night out there, and we're having a lot of fun as it is already. So appreciate everybody that has signed up, and invite your friends. Keep it going.
Absolutely, more the merrier.
The more the merrier. So to wrap this up, I mean, what a show. I mean, getting to talk to Hank, love breaking down some tournament logistics, because you just don't see what goes on behind the scenes. And then David Johnson, I mean, what a sport, coming in last second here, and man, you can tell it still fires him up. And
absolutely,
why wouldn't it, right? I mean, that's something you tell your grandkids about. But awesome to have David on, and moving into some Ryder Cup talk, to get into Ryder Cup specifics. You're obviously leaving tomorrow morning. Now,
when this airs, I'm in flight.
You're in
transit.
Flight.
Yep.
24 hours from today. Are you still in transit, or are you?
No, I'm there.
You're there.
Well, I don't know.
Is it a direct flight? Do you do a direct flight?
No, we go Minneapolis, Atlanta to Rome, 9 hours. think I get in 10:30 Rome time, which is going to be like 3 a.m. Yeah.
Oof.
So
Well,
I'm ready though. I've
Yeah.
already adjusted.
what's the packing situation like? I mean, is that like?
I'm ready. I got a lot of red, white, and blue.
It's good. That's good.
Yep. I'm going to be representing. Yeah.
I told mom, and I can say I told mom because she was going to go shopping for you, but I told her, let's just not complicate this. Like, you get them a American flag cutoff and some ripped jeans. Let's just own the part over there.
Yeah.
Maybe a cowboy hat. Throw a cowboy hat on.
That would be good. Actually,
Just own it.
we had that discussion last night, and I was going to maybe even wear a hockey jersey, USA hockey jersey. And then it was like, no, you know what? As a PGA member, I need to play it a little close to the vest.
Yeah.
I need to wear the crest, represent the PGA as well as America.
You have
So
a reputation to uphold.
I'm going to play it a little close to the
You're
vest.
going international now, so you got it. Yeah, that's fair.
Okay,
That's fair.
but I've got some inside info, just some stats.
Yes, today, I believe Tuesday, was the first practice round day.
Yeah.
So they're just going out. Obviously, we've got it on behind us. They're breaking it down. But yeah, stats.
Well, just a little bit of information. Vegas has the odds. America's favored.
Yeah,
Which we've only won one time in 30 years over there. I don't know how we're favored.
Well,
Just
yeah, you look at it, and I think you're going to kind of touch on it, but just from recent form, and then you look at the just overall rankings. I don't know. Golf's so hard to bet on, and I almost think like even the professionals, it's like throw something out there, right?
Well, I think what they're basing that the Americans being favored, the average world golf ranking for each team.
Yep.
So the U.S. team's average world ranking, 12.92. So like 13th. The average player on our team is ranked 13th in the world. The average player for the Euros, 29.25. So again, I don't know if that's a function of they have more guys playing live that aren't in the field. We have more guys that are accumulating world ranking points.
Yep.
So that might be skewed a little bit, but I found that's significant.
And they did take some flyers, obviously with Ludwig Aberg. He's a rookie essentially.
Yeah.
And
they have 4 rookies. We have 4 rookies.
Yep, that's true too. But you look at where he's a PGA Tour rookie, not a Ryder Cup. I mean, he's both, and
yes,
he's the first player to play in a Ryder Cup without playing in a major. So that's going to skew theirs a little bit.
Yeah.
But there again, I don't know that it matters a whole lot because of, and David touched on it, of how they set up their golf courses. And if he's been playing over there, I mean,
it looks narrow. Yeah. Fairways look narrow.
Really narrow.
I want to give you a full report when I'm there, but they look narrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they set them up. They set them up for. It's not a bomber's course, I don't believe, but who knows? I mean,
it's golf.
It's golf. You don't know. Talked about the rookies. You know that Aberg guy. I was listening to Captain Luke Donald.
Mm-hmm.
He said he played with him in an event. He was paired with him in an event, and he was 9 under through 16 holes. And he goes, he knew I was watching him. He knew he was in consideration to be on Ryder Cup.
And he just did it.
And he went 9 under through 16 holes.
I think he's going to be a problem over there. I think he's going to be a problem.
Like more of a problem than Brian Harmon's going to be a problem for the Euros.
100%.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
We got some guys.
Speaking of, there he is right behind us. He's on, he's shot it off.
And so Luke Donald was talking about when he hits the golf ball, it's different. It sounds different. The trajectory's different. He's one of those kind of once in a generation come along, not generation, but I mean, his from a new young crop coming out, he's different. His ball striking is different. So it's going to be fun to watch. Where did he play collegiately?
Yes.
Because he was an NCAA champion.
Yep.
Right?
God, I want to say Oklahoma State, but that's not right.
Yeah, all those. Okay.
Anyway, somewhere in the South probably. But yeah, it is worth mentioning. DraftKings came out with their lineups. We can do DraftKings lineups. I would recommend holding off until you see matchups, pairings and matchups. But it looks like you can just it's your typical $50,000 budget.
Yep.
Pick your players. We go off most birdies, pars in a row, and I would guess it'd be win, lose, tie is probably your extra bonus points.
Okay.
And obviously my phone's recording, so I can't look it up real time. But what's going to happen is you're going to have tremendous value down the list of the guys because you only have 24 guys to pick from. Some of the guys aren't going to play, so you're going to have to take that into right away. You have to take that into consideration.
You got to be careful there.
Well, so that's where I'm always saying you got to wait till pairings come out, which should be, what do they play, Friday? So it's Thursday. And then there again, the time change difference. So you gotta keep an eye on it.
Okay,
You're
there
pulling
we go.
You're pulling it up there.
Yep. We got a little Ryder Cup. So how this thing looks like it's going to work? You select a captain.
Okay.
Well, this particular game, yeah, they're not by country at all. They're just in order of greatness. Robert McIntyre's the value pick at 6,000.
Mm-hmm.
And it just looks like a normal. It looks like a normal DraftKings
lineup. How about does it give you a breakdown of points when you go back out of that? Is that a
let me look here.
not right on there? Okay.
Nope, it does not.
So that'd be one thing to take a look at. Like we said, you got tremendous value. I wouldn't be surprised taking some Europeans for value because of the way the course setup's going to be. There again, watch the waves and who's playing, who's not playing. Some pairings will come out. Interesting to note. Obviously, we've got practice round today. They send out some pairings as far as who's playing with who. A lot of times, it's a good barometer for who's going to be paired together moving forward because you like to have that chemistry going. And of note, you've got Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas, which I think surprises absolutely nobody. But look for that pairing early on. I wouldn't be surprised if they send them out early. Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas. Get it rolling with Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas.
Okay. Can I interject?
Yep, you got it.
So it's holes 1. 3 points for a hole 1. Holes tied, 0.75 points. You lose 0.75 if you lose a hole. Holes not played, 1.6.
So
that must be for the winner.
You get points if you win and you're not playing. Playing holes.
Yep, you get +5 for matches won. Matches tied +2 bonus points. Streaks, if you 3 consecutive holes won in a match, you get 5 bonus points. No holes lost in a match, 7.5 bonus points.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of scoring rules, and so it's going to be true match play.
Yep.
On DraftKings.
Holes won, holes lost.
Mm-hmm.
So not birdies made, nothing like that. Holes won, holes lost.
So yeah, you got to wait and see those pairings ideally. Yep. And just go, what? Rory's got Brian Harmon? Yeah,
I'm taking Rory.
I'm taking Rory.
Yep.
This match, this round. So, wow, yeah, different wrinkle. And if people are paying attention and you really analyze and study those
Texas Tech for Aberg, sorry,
and they start studying these matchups, you could do well on DraftKings this week.
Yeah.
Because if you're not paying attention, you just go out there and you just pick your favorite guys, and you don't know who they're playing.
Yep. That'd be interesting. That'd be a fun one to throw a couple teams together. And obviously Ryder Cup's just fun to watch in general. So I think I saw it's like 1:30, or actually it starts at like midnight Central Time most of the days here.
7 a.m. there.
And then it'll run to just short of noon here.
Sure.
So for those that are tuning in Central Standard Time, it's like 1:30 Eastern when the TV broadcast starts. I think it's midnight our time.
This
Central
starts Wednesday, 11 p.m. Central. That's what it says on DraftKings.
Wednesday, huh?
Tomorrow night or Wednesday night, 11 p.m.
So get your lineups in. Hopefully they release some pairings, or at least you can kind of feel out. There again, pairings are released for practice rounds. I feel like you can judge based on that, just not the matchups.
Correct.
So that'll be good. We're excited. You got any last minute predictions before you jet over there?
No. Well, the heart hopes the U.S. Represents and does well. Boy, the mind's telling me they've won one time in 30 years over there. It's going to be a big hill to climb. I do think they're playing foursomes first, which is from the research I've done, a little tactical error maybe, according to Brandel Chambly.
Ooh.
Coach Luke Donald chose to go for it. 60%, 70% of the time, if you win the first day, that team goes on to win the Ryder Cup. So historically, Euros have been better on the team portion. We kind of clean up on the singles.
Individual.
So who knows? But it's sport. It's going to be fun. Going to be fun to watch. So we hope if you're listening to this that you're able to carve out some time and watch that Ryder Cup. It's something the country can rally around.
Absolutely.
Around sport, and that's what's neat about this game. So,
and I will say, I mean, if you're a husband or even if you're a wife, I mean, you got a newborn kid. I mean, earn some brownie points. Just say, I'll stay up with the kid. I mean, if they're gonna be crying through the night, I'll stay up with them.
Yeah.
Watch a little golf.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do.
That's true.
Earn brownie points. Watch some golf.
Or just be a good parent.
That too.
Yeah.
That too. Well, that's gonna wrap it up for us today. What a great show! Thanks again to both Hank and David for coming on. And safe travels to you, Mark,
Thank
over
you.
there. And hopefully we get some little boots on the ground info from you. We'll line up a time, get that going, because that's going to be awesome. Yeah, when I was over there, I didn't even think they had golf in Italy. So I'm looking forward to
The Molinari boys.
Yeah.
Or the best Italian players. So
I'm looking forward to a breakdown from you. So if you can, sneak into that press tent. I mean, it can't be that hard.
Yeah, I'm not closing the door to press credentials, but I'm showing up without.
Anyone not show up this week? Can I just take theirs? Anyway, thanks again for tuning in. Hopefully you catch a little glimpse of the Ryder Cup and go USA. We'll see you next time. Thanks.